mild, but it feels like it's near 100. It looks like we beat any potential for storms. Humidity will rise as the match continues. Virginia in orange, LaSalle in navy, and off we go here at Klockner Stadium. Cavaliers in the midst of a 6-game homestand to begin this 2026 season. So Virginia with victories over Northwestern by 2, over Liberty by 2. What were some of your takeaways from those first 2 matches, Patty?
Well, I think Virginia's got a good mix of veteran presence and some new faces who are expected to play a little bit bigger roles. You see Liv Rademacher with a good run down here.
Sophomore delivers it in, and LaSalle manages that. And Rademacher, just like Henson for LaSalle, she'll have the ball on her foot a lot, and she runs a lot as one of those wing backs for the Hoos. Here's Pearl Cecil. Yesterday was announced as a member of the U.S. U20 national team for the upcoming World Cup, held in Poland. Started that September the 5th. Cecil's had a nice beginning to her sophomore season. And now the aforementioned Mackenzie Mize wearing 26 in the orange shirts.
And you're seeing very early here, Corey. We wondered what we would see from this LaSalle team. Another good run here from Rademacher.
Funnels it in towards the penalty dot. Jordan Hardiman couldn't steer it clear of LaSalle's defense. Excellent anticipation there from Cecil, weaving past explorers. And Rademacher's touch wasn't all too great. Halpern steams onto it, cleared out by the explorers.
And this is a LaSalle team that typically likes to press. They like to get into their opponent's defensive end and see if they can pick balls up. Today, though, you will likely see this for the majority of the 90 minutes, dropping very deep into really 2 blocks of 5 and not allowing Virginia that space in and around the 18-yard box to connect passes and create chances.
Yeah, great conversation with Coach Royal earlier today. Says he has a very athletic group that's committed to doing the work on the defensive side. Stays in the box here for Virginia. Allie Ross. Shot ricochets off the defense. And that's last touched by an Explorer. No, check that. It's off a Cavalier last. And a goal kick for Widnick and the Explorers. There's Allie Ross, who has factored in 3 times in goals so far this season. Virginia had to say goodbye, Patty, to a lot of really instrumental offensive pieces from last year's squad, including Leah Godfrey and Maggie Cagle. So
with those departures, Corey, just to finish that thought, with those departures, there are some pockets of space and some places where some of the younger faces can step up. One of those being Jordan Hardiman, playing a bigger role now in that center of midfield. And you're going to see a little bit of hybrid roles for both Halpern and Allie Ross. Not typical out-and-out wingers. They will love to tuck inside and sort of be a false 10, if you will, allowing those wingbacks to get around them in the attack.
Essentially 2 center attacking mids, and then those wingbacks in Rademacher and Carrie Helfrich log a lot of miles during a match. Tatum Galvin serves it towards the back stick. Here's Rademacher, who fakes. Not on the same page that time with Halpern. Anna Corsanico goes down. Sophomore midfielder, and a free kick here for LaSalle. So the Explorers with a full week of preparation for this game against Virginia. They fell behind against American at home last Thursday on a penalty kick from Lauren Sanders in the 7th minute, but Coach Royal was pretty impressed with how his team stayed poised through that. They almost had the feeling like, all right, we're going to get our 2 goals here. It's not going to be a problem, and it proved to be the case.
Well, I think this is a LaSalle team that has a good mix of veteran presence and youth as well. They've been together. The core of this team has been together now for several years and have big expectations for an A10 season.
9 sophomores, 12 juniors, loaded in the middle. Halpern uncorks, and that hits off of Widnick for another Virginia corner kick. They've had a lot of those to begin the year. There's Coach Royal. When you think about this LaSalle program, he is certainly the face of it. They've made the NCAA tournament 5 times, all under his leadership. Picked towards the middle in the A10 this season, 8th out of 14. Ella Carter set to take the corner kick. Carter missed the opening match against Northwestern with a minor injury. Played a good chunk of the minutes the other day. Galvin knocks knocks one in. Left alone, right outside the 6. And Virginia strikes 5 minutes in.
But if you're going to come into Clockner Stadium as the underdog, which is LaSalle, you have to do better on set pieces than this. It's just, frankly, not good enough from the Explorers. The ball whipped in from Ella Carter is very good to the near post, but there is not a blue shirt in and around Tatum Galvin, and that's a tremendous finish in the end from the 5th year, but frankly, too easy inside the box on a set piece there from LaSalle.
Yeah, you saw Ava Tenaglia a step or two behind Galvin that time. Tatum scores her 2nd collegiate goal, last scored in 2024 at Miami, and one of the veteran presences on this Cavaliers team. She figures to be very important this year for Steve Swanson's team.
And take nothing away from the finish, Corey, because it was a tremendous finish from Galvin, the left center back, skipping up and hitting it first time, but unmarked in the box in the opening 5 minutes. That's a massive goal for Virginia, and you would think will sort of unlock this low block from LaSalle here early in the first half.
Yeah, if you're on the Explorers side, you're thinking deja vu. You went down 7 minutes in the last game, now down 5 minutes in. Here's Addison Halpern, the shimmy and the stop and the rollover, and look at the amount of Explorers she attracts. Carrie Helfrich, a boatload of sophomores in that starting 11 for Virginia. Here's Rademacher providing the width. Ross nods it back up into the sky. It falls to Carter, who got the assist on the Tatum Galvin goal. Takeaway here from Tenaglia. Virginia right back on the ball. That's something the Cavaliers, Patty, have done extremely well in their first now 2+ matches. When they lose the ball, they get it right back.
Right, it's so tough for LaSalle. They're expending a tremendous amount of energy here early on, just trying to win the ball back. You finally do it, and there's Liv Rademacher to win it yet again for Virginia and pin LaSalle deep in their own half.
Essentially defending with 2 banks of 5 right now are the Explorers. Galvin journeys towards the 18. There's Tenaglia once again, and opts to just steer it out of play, but our center referee, Brad Church, says it deflects off Galvin last. Isaiah Campanella, Irvin Moon on the sidelines. Andrew Gentilumo is our 4th official. UVA pinning in LaSalle. Here's Gio Canali, who scored maybe the goal around the nation in week 1 of soccer against Northwestern a week ago. Strong touch from Helfrich, spoons it towards the back post, and Canali could not lace it on cage.
It's good work there from Canali, just checking back, playing back to goal, finding Helfrich, who, as you note, tremendous first touch to set up that service into the box, but Virginia looking very comfortable here in the opening 7.5.
Canali, the junior from Brazil, coming over from Miami. She was a 3rd-team All-ACC selection as a freshman with 9 goals, did not play the entirety of last year with an injury, and she was just named to the Brazilian U20 national team for the upcoming World Cup. Here's Canali hustling after it here against Henson. And LaSalle content on this hot day to just recollect their breath. Certainly an encouraging sign from Virginia early on, Patty. When you think about their performance against Liberty, they were strong from out of the gates, but as that game continued, they weren't as crisp as the beginning.
Well, and that may be the challenge here today again, Corey, because you're playing against this LaSalle team that has come out and dropped so deep, as you see more good work here from Canali.
Halpern. That takes another deflection. Corner kick for the Hoos. Steve Swanson wants to see his team this year be quicker in transitions, both from defense to attack and from attack to defense. Virginia piling numbers on the back post. That's headed down, off the bar and in. Canali, another Kodak moment as a Cav. And yeah, she likes the disco.
I think that's a samba, Corey.
Okay. I'll take lessons later on.
Well, it's a tremendous ball into the box, in that 6-yard box, but yet again from LaSalle, this is frankly not good enough. Gio Canale is not making a dynamic run. She takes one step to her left and just meets that one where it comes. Doesn't try to do too much with the finish. It's a good glancing header. Absolutely nothing Samantha Whitnick could do, but this is a nightmare start if you're Paul Royal. 2 set-piece goals to give up in the opening 10 minutes in a game in which you know you're already going to be on the back foot for long portions of the match.
So when you think about that, right, it boils down to 2 things. One, you got to track your man, and number 2, communication. LaSalle with a chance here inside the box. Here comes Vicky Safford in to deny Ella Cadigan. Well, the Explorers inches away from making this a 1-goal game once again. Here's Carrie Helfrich. Hardeman to Carter as the 2 center defensive mids. Galvin loops it. Knotted up in the air. Wide open. Another tally. Halpern. 3 games as a sophomore. 3 goals. And less than 10 minutes in, this is all Cavaliers.
Well, all Cavaliers indeed. This one's really well worked. It's a good ball initially into the box from Tatum Galvin. And then this nodding header across. So smart there from Allie Ross. If you get, as we said in the opening, if you get Addison Halpern in and around that 6-yard box, a free header, she's going to make you pay. She does there. Picks her spot, nods one home, and 3 within the first 10 minutes for Steve Swanson and these Virginia Cavaliers.
I think Addison Halpern has arrived on the collegiate scene. Patty, like you mentioned off the top, she had a really good freshman season. She scored 4 goals. We know she was surrounded by so much talent. That's 3 goals in her first 3 games her sophomore year. This is a ridiculous pace.
She's as talented a player as you'll find anywhere in college soccer. And we've talked about the laundry list of awards and accolades that she racked up in high school. And she was very good in her freshman year. But remember, she's a player who went to the Under-20 World Cup and age cycle early as a high school senior. And now in the last week has been left off the U.S. roster, was certainly a bubble pick. She has something to prove here in 2026, and she sure is proving it here early in the season.
There are so many great high school accolades to list off for her. I mean, she scored 180 goals in high school, which was the 2nd most in Jersey history. She scored 44 goals, Patty, as a senior, despite missing 6 games because of that U20 World Cup. It's amazing. The onslaught from Virginia continues. So much real estate for Rademacher, but she's offside. All right, so for LaSalle now, Patty, 11 minutes into the game, you're down by 3. Like, now what? What gets into your mind as a coach at this juncture?
Well, I think you saw a little bit after that 3rd goal in the players coming together and trying to hit the reset button. Listen, 3 goals against a very talented Virginia team on the road at Klockner Stadium is likely too big a mountain to climb. But you have to get something out of this game. This is a big experience against what is the only ranked opponent on your schedule for the entire fall. So for a team that has some younger players, but also has some veteran presences, can you hit the reset button and get something out of this game? Because result or not, this is an early season game. You don't want to crush your confidence, and you want to be able to tell that you can play against the country's best. So a lot of soccer yet to be played, but this LaSalle team certainly has to hit the reset button and start to come out of their shell and play a little bit against a Virginia team that has come out swinging.
And this is where team building matters. And Coach Royal told us that the team chemistry really evolved in the springtime because they brought back so much production from last year. The relationships both on and off the field are phenomenal. Now it's tested. Look at all this room for Ross. Like, that's a moment right there, Patty, where you say, hey, like, how does a player get so open in that spot?
I think the movement from Virginia is very good. It always is each and every game. And so there's a different speed to this game than LaSalle will have seen in their opening one against American. But you're right. I mean, if you're going to drop deep, which LaSalle has, and play into a bit of a low or at least mid-block, you can't allow those spaces in and around the top of the 18-yard box, which have been exploited really very frequently here in the opening 13 minutes. So, again, it's a little bit of a gut punch to come out and give those early goals up, but you still got to know your role if you're a player on this LaSalle team, and you have to do better in tracking runners.
They filter it to Rademacher, and Whitnick will collect here for LaSalle. Michigan State, the number 5 team in the land, taking on number 7 North Carolina. Early season women's soccer match coming up on Sunday, August 23rd, 1 o'clock Eastern time. I have the coverage for you on ACC Network. Should be a lot of fun in that match. Virginia, one of 15 ACC squads that are in action today. Saffredin stays at home here. Cameron Race can't catch up to it. There is Saffredin on the watch list for the Herman Award. As a goalkeeper, picked up her 20th collegiate shutout back on Sunday against the Flames. 5th most shutouts in Virginia history. Posted 11 last season, which was tied for first in the ACC alongside Caroline Dysert of Duke. And you speak to Steve Swanson about Vicky Saffredin. He speaks glowingly of her talents, maybe the best in the biz across the nation.
Well, she's really grown too. Now in her 3rd year starting here in Charlottesville. She's gotten better in being more dynamic with her feet. Has always been a tremendous shot stopper. As you see LaSalle starting to come out of their shell here.
And Race can't keep it onto the field of play. Yeah, Saffredin made an excellent save in the second half against Liberty. She really just stoned Margaret Garner on a 1v1, and had that gone in, it would have been a 1-1 game at that point, and then all bets are off. LaSalle not really getting into its high press. Their central striker, number 18 in Navy, is Justice Hollenbach. Comes off a 6-goal season a year ago, the team lead. Collision here that's won by Tenaglia against Rademacher. And now Ella Fry, who played 57 minutes off the bench in their opener against American, getting awarded with the start today. Coach Royal said she was outstanding, picking up balls, distributing. They'll need some of that today for sure. Now 15.5 gone by here in the first half. Shots are 6-0 in favor of Virginia. Canali checks in. Halpern wiggles her way free, but she's offside. Halpern, who had a great opportunity this summer playing with Sneaky FC in the mixed bracket in the TST. Performed very well as they made the final. Teammates with Carrie Helfrich. Fun stuff. And Hardiman gets called for a handball here. This is maybe a way LaSalle can work its way back into the game off a set piece. Heck, their 2 goals the other night were both off set pieces. Both Taylor Jordanay and Sienna Mount, defenders, scored their first collegiate goals. Jordanay's was off a corner. Mount was a header off a free kick. Mount coming off the bench this afternoon. Cadigan sends it towards the near side for Nadia Guzman. Towards Saffredin. curl her foot around the ball enough.
All right. Other jog, yeah. Other jog. Jog back middle, jog back middle. Back out, back middle, back. Let's go straight leg bound, straight leg bound. First one starts small. Down, 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 down.
Patty, I'm so fascinated watching this Virginia team, right? As Addison Halpern has the ball right now. Yeah, she's listed as a winger, but she plays a variety of positions, pinching in towards the defensive side this time.
Keep the pressure.
Well, the beauty of Steve Swanson's team, whether they're out in a 4-3-3 or today really more of a 3-4-3 in possession, is that it's so fluid, and he recruits a type of player that is so comfortable with the ball at their feet, playing through possession and picking and choosing their time to run at that back line, that when he sets this Cavalier team up for success in this formation, there are players on this team, whether they be the wingbacks or Halpern and Ross at those pinched-in winger positions, that just have so much creativity and freedom, and he lets them go, and you're seeing the fruits of those labors here early in this one.
Rademacher streaks into the box. Halpern, the touch and the release, and another goal! It's a first-half brace for Addison Halpern. Her heroics continue.
Well, the spacing and the fluidity from Virginia is on full display here. It's really well done from Liv Rademacher to beat her player down that near side. She picks her heads up and picks out one player in particular. That's Addison Halpern, just trailing the play. This is a tremendous first touch. And once she gets that touch out in front of her, there's only one thing in the mind of the sensational sophomore, and that's to blast home near post and get her second goal tonight. The fourth for Virginia, and an absolute flurry of offense for these Cavaliers here in the first half.
And that shot certainly aided by the deflection there off Bree Lewis. So Halpern with her second. We have a challenge here upcoming from LaSalle for a potential offside. So each coach gets 2 challenges to begin a match here in 2026, one of the rule changes. And Coach Royal and company may have seen something.
Well, as you said, Corey, the challenge new to college soccer here in 2026. Each coach will start with 2 challenges. Whether they're successful or not, 2 is all they get. If you're out of challenges, the referee may initiate a challenge in the final 10 minutes of regulation. But if a coach has a challenge, they have to be the one to initiate the review. In this case, Paul Royal electing to use one of his 2 here just to try to get something back for these LaSalle Explorers here about halfway through this first half.
So Brad Church, her center referee, will take a look. Speaking with a handful of coaches across the nation so far, they feel like the challenge system is much better because they can really encourage the referees to look, as opposed to previous years where they're basically begging them to do so. So this is exactly what the referees are looking at, this quad box.
And if that's exactly what they're looking at, Corey, you can't even see Liv Rademacher there on the near side. So I'm not sure how you could get conclusive evidence to overturn what was the call on the field. In the referee's defense, regardless, that assistant referee is in tremendous position looking straight down the line. So it'd be really tough to see this one overturned with the looks that we've just seen.
And I think from our observation of collegiate women's soccer through the first week, those offside challenges are very hard to overturn. You might get an overturned challenge on a potential penalty kick inside the box. That might be a little bit easier for the officials to detect. But they must have conclusive evidence to overturn this call.
There's really good work here from our camera crew. You can see that top left look. Clearly, Liv Rademacher is well onside looking at this latest one. And so you would expect Brad Church to say play on 4-0 Virginia here 19 minutes into the match.
And that's exactly the case. So LaSalle is down to 1 challenge. Now, Patty, we are expected to have a hydration break. It's pretty hot out there, but I almost wonder, too, does Coach Royal use that challenge as maybe a chance to get his team to calm down, a de facto timeout, if you will?
Well, it's not a bad shout, and it certainly serves that purpose, though I'm not sure what you say to a team that's come in here to Charlottesville, giving up 4 goals in 18.5 minutes. But it's a good point, Corey, because timeout's not something that we have in soccer, and yet you use a challenge there, you give your team 3 minutes to reset, and maybe the message is, let's do just that. Play the game now, 0-0, and can we start to build something and get something out of an afternoon in Charlottesville?
Change here for LaSalle. Kaden Williams, 5 in Navy, is on. She was challenging Jordan Hardiman there. Williams, a sophomore, scored 4 goals in her freshman season, all A10 rookie team selection. 24 of their 28 goals scored from 2025 have returned this year. LaSalle, a game under 500 in 2025 at 7-8-3. They lost in the quarterfinal round of the A10 tournament to the Dayton Flyers, preseason favorites in the Atlantic 10. Here's Ella Carter. Patty, I know you're a huge fan of Ella Carter and her game. So what function does she serve for this Virginia team?
Well, if you don't point her out, you might miss Ella Carter, and that's really the function that she does serve. She'll sit deep in midfield. She's an extremely smart player, extremely smart person, and she will connect passes just all day long. She snuffs out a lot of what the opponent's trying to get. It's another good ball here.
Ross to Halpern. About 1.5 feet away from 3 in the first half.
All right, that might have been the easiest finish that Halpern has had of her 3 big chances here in the first half. Yet again, it's that combination play for Virginia through midfield, finding wide areas and good service into the box. Addie Halpern surely will want that one back.
She is on a torrid pace in year number 2 in college. Sophia Bradley on to the match. Bradley, one of the veterans now on this Virginia team as a junior. Bradley dealt with a toe issue towards the end of last season, couldn't play throughout the spring, but Coach Swanson said she has come back remarkably well in the preseason and in the early moments of the regular season. Big, strong, athletic, and can take people on. And she'll get some extended minutes at that center striker spot in all likelihood once Gio Canali takes flight for the U20 World Cup.
Okay, you're good. Save it.
Ross surveys. Amazing watching the communication from the players both on and off the ball for UVA.
Go work, Kayla. You're good. Hey, you're good.
Here's Faith Broering, who started the first 2 matches for Virginia this season off the bench today. 14 in orange, the transfer from Cincinnati, led the Bearcats in minutes in each of the last 2 seasons.
And I think Faith Broering will be turn out to be a massive pickup for Steve Swanson. You know, we've already noted Pearl Cecil will depart at the end of the week for that Under-20 World Cup. Will miss several weeks at least, depending on how deep the United States goes. But Faith Broering was the heart and soul of that Bearcat defense. She can play a lot of different roles, whether it be right center back or as that true center back. And I think you will find that she grows into this season for the Cavaliers.
Ross to the outside. They put it towards the near post. And Kira Waller nearly deposited Virginia's 5th. Both teams ready to make some changes. As Jamie Galvin will head out for Virginia. Freshman Kendall Schuler is on. Alongside Catherine Kelly. You see Kelly there, 5th-year defender. Hardiman serves it in. Dangerous. Oh, yes! It's an Olympico from Jordan Hardiman. Spectacular.
He's rotating.
for your first goal of the season here for Jordan Hardiman. She's put in a ton of good service. She's just trying to put this one in the 6-yard box, but when you whip a ball in at that pace and put it right on top of Samantha Whitnick, so tricky to judge that ball with bodies in and around that 6-yard box, and Hardiman finding that far post and finding a fifth for Virginia.
Playing in a new position this year, was mostly a defender last year, now playing as more of a CDM. Her responsibilities are growing, and that's the sophomore's first collegiate goal. Coach Swanson says she is a tremendous ball striker, and she showcases those abilities right there. And oh, by the way, folks, that's right at around the midway point of the first half. 5 on the board for Virginia. And it's another goal, Patty, off a corner. Rademacher peppers it in. That's Schuler. Play a variety of different roles. There's Coach Swanson, top midfield recruit in the Mid-Atlantic region, coming in from Warrenton, about 70 miles away from here in Charlottesville. Cavaliers are clicking. Remember, this is a team a year ago that made the Sweet 16. They upset Florida State as well in the first round of the ACC tournament. Started the year 10-0-2, and they were holding the #1 spot for multiple weeks last year. Ross, a delicious ball out wide. Reese mattered in the match. Lasers it in right to Waller, dunks it off the crossbar. Virginia's been hungry for great crosses. That was another excellent one today.
Well, when we talked to Virginia staff before the game, they specifically highlighted how good they wanted the service to be, how they wanted to get the ball wide and get service into the box. And it's got to be 10 occasions now here in the opening 25 minutes that they've done just that. Combined through midfield, got it in wide areas, whether it's this near left side, far right side, and got tremendous chances in and around that 6-yard box.
All right, is Hardiman thinking about another Olympico? It's not going to go in the net directly. Goal kick now for LaSalle. Change here for Virginia as Anaya Collier will enter the match. Out comes Allie Ross. Collier scoring on opening night against Northwestern. A fantastic story for this Virginia team. Did not play over the past 2 seasons with Virginia. One was a decision to redshirt for her development. Another was because of an injury. She had not played a regular season match in 1,000 days plus for Virginia and got that goal against the Wildcats, and she has proven to be very speedy up top. As she showcases right now through the maze, Collier taking on every single explorer seemingly. And both teams will be considering the tear that they were on. Heavy artillery for Virginia's offense. 5 goals within about the first half of this first half today. And there's a lot of reasons to dance.
Well, it started early. It's good service in the box here from Ella Carter, but Tatum Galvin finds herself wide open in that 6-yard box, makes no mistake. Another good service into the box there from Hardiman for Addie Halpern. A second here off the head of Halpern, and Virginia was just rolling. They haven't stopped since. It's a good cutback here. Again, Addison Halpern in and around that 18-yard box. She is deadly. And then the Olympico, just moments ago, Jordan Hardiman finding that first collegiate goal, finding its way past Samantha Whitnick, and 5 goals here in the first 25 minutes for these Virginia Cavaliers.
5 goals on 11 shots, 6 on target.
She finally turned to see both. The girl had run 5. Wide open.
We've seen a lot of dance moves from Virginia in the first 3 matches of the year. ACC Huddle road trip continues through August 24th. Catch exclusive interviews with players and coaches of your favorite ACC team. Great time of year. Students still arriving here on grounds as classes begin on Tuesday. For LaSalle, they don't begin school until Monday, August 31st. First of 2 games today here from Glockner Stadium. We'll see the Virginia men's squad open up the slate against the UCLA Bruins. So plenty of soccer for these folks to watch today. Eat those ices very quickly because they're going to melt on this 90+ degree day. That looks great right about now.
Corey, speaking of ACC Huddle, did you see who's coming to Charlottesville?
Talk to me.
DJ Diesel, post ACC Huddle on Saturday, August the 29th, here in Charlottesville. Shaquille O'Neal.
Ho, ho, ho. Okay. So Charlottesville is his destination. Big Cactus here in Seville. Okay. Now Virginia's getting a lot of practice with corner kicks. Samantha Whitnick, as Patty described, trying to survive a flurry. Hardiman elevates it. Again, LaSalle has to hold its breath because these crosses and these corner kicks from Virginia have been spot on today. They've been money. That stays low. Jordan A with the clearance. Hardiman pleading for it. Receives, looks up, strikes. Save Whitnick. And the rebound taken care of by Guzman. Six career shutouts for Samantha Whitnick, coming in from Drexel. Faced LaSalle once in her career. That was last season. The Explorers won that game. Kelly, good textured ball here for Waller. Roaring. Now Kelly. That's knotted down. And Jordan A with a nice pass here to Alexis Garcia off the bench. Another Virginia takeaway. Rademacher slides it wide. A chance for Mattern to get a cross in. Bradley towards the byline. That is corner kick number 6 for Virginia. So now an out-swinging ball from Jordan Hardiman. High in the sky it goes. There's Ella Cadigan, who is really the engine for this LaSalle team. Where's the number 4? Coach Royal believes that she is really the premier playmaker in the A-10. 16 minutes remaining here in this first half. And LaSalle does not have a shot registered at all so far. Knocked down by Schuler. Let's see if LaSalle can connect on a few passes here. Hollenbach trying to prove prickly for the Virginia back line, but can't hold on to possession. Saffordin, whose distribution in the second half against Liberty was not up to her standard. A couple of turnovers against the Flames. Bradley checks in, takes a gigantic touch. And the turnover now to Sienna Mounts, junior who scored against American, her first collegiate goal. For the Explorers in that opening game, Patty, they were without their head coach, Paul Royal. He was watching from the stands after getting a red card in their final match last year. So Courtney Toll and Matt Brooks took the leadership positions with the team, and they got the dub with Royal not being on the sidelines.
Well, a lot of positives, too, for this Explorers squad in getting that win and the way they did it and coming from behind. When we talked to Paul Royal, he said the team played better than they had the result for earlier in the game. Probably could have scored 3 or 4 goals in that opening first half, and the vibes are really high coming into this match against Virginia. To give up those early, really 2 goals within the first 5 minutes, so tough for this LaSalle team in trying to dig out and find the positives. Be interesting to watch now as this game goes on and it goes to halftime. Are they able to really hit that reset button, come out in the second half and potentially shrink some passes together, get some chances, and have some sort of confidence to build on as they head back to the rest of this early season slate?
We'll have certainly a much easier game against Bucknell on the road coming up on Sunday. As you mentioned, Patty, Virginia is the only ranked team as of right now that LaSalle will see on its schedule. And one of just 2 teams that made the tournament last year, the A10 champs Dayton, also on their schedule. Shiloh Moore, freshman, comes on, scored 81 goals at Cinnaminson High School in New Jersey. A lot of New Jersey blood on the LaSalle roster. 17 of the 29 from that terrific state. Kira Koopman, one of the freshmen from Virginia's side, coming in from the Netherlands. One of the top 10 international freshmen to watch, according to Top Drawer Soccer. Schuler gets the noggin on it. Hardeman, who was called for a handball earlier in the match, close to another. Safford to organize. Roaring. Waller. It's Guzman last.
Hey, let's not go through the back of the legs, okay? Just be smart with it for me. We'll be right up
LaSalle have to make a change at right back. Kennedy Erdman coming off a little bit of an injury. Not sure if we'll see her today. Hardeman lets it roll and delivers it to Liv Rademacher. Deals with the little shove in the back. Boom back towards Virginia's defensive third. Uh-oh. Caden Williams beelines ahead. Stops, assesses, and the Virginia defense hustles back. Guzman. Diagonal ball towards the edge of the 18. Bounces near Garcia. Mattern whacks it aside. Henson, probably the best feeder on this team. There it is. Safford with a denial. Back out towards the top. Very ambitious try. That goes begging from Mount.
And a better little stretch there from LaSalle, but these are the stretches and the periods of the game that will really irk Steve Swanson. This is a game in which still 12 minutes to be played in the first half, and you would think from a results point of view, it's done and dusted. But if you're Virginia, you can't get into bad habits, and you can't allow for chances off the break, off the counter. Give credit to LaSalle. They found a way to string some passes here on this sequence and get a second chance there on Virginia's frame. But you cannot fall asleep if you're Virginia, because you can't get into bad habits here earlier in the year as you build towards ACC play.
And yeah, they have tougher opponents on the slate even before ACC play begins, right? They've got Tennessee, a ranked team, Georgetown as well. So you've got to use every moment possible to figure things out. 17 games on the Virginia schedule this year. 11 come at home, including the first 6. Just saw that 10 teams on the schedule made the tournament last year. 4 of those in non-conference play. Both the teams that Virginia beat first 2 games this year were tournament teams. Northwestern and at-large out of the Big Ten last year. Liberty, the champions in Conference USA for the second time in the previous 3 seasons. Schuler. 3 Explorers converge. Schuler maintains. Virginia really wants to use the width of the field here in 2026. They do so right now with Waller. Shimmies towards the inside. Back out towards center it goes. Williams holds the ball up nicely. Gives it for Hayla Lebsack. And right back to Williams, the sophomore from Harrisburg. Fended off here by Reese Mattern, the Charlottesville native coming in from Tennessee, one of the few transfers for Steve Swanson's team this year. She has a lot of speed. Hard to find someone quicker than Mattern. Virginia stretching out this LaSalle defense. Collier back towards the inside, corkscrews it towards the net. And a watchful eye from Widnick allows it to go out for a goal kick. Scored in the 41st minute in the Northwestern game, did Collier. And Patty had a great conversation with Coach Swanson about that redshirt season a few years ago. They've done it a couple of times with players like Kiki Mackey, Tatum Galvin, where they say, hey, I think it's best for your development, even if you've already played a season, to sit out this next one. We've got some veterans on the team, and we'll get you back into the fold the following year because we believe in your development.
Well, it's a hard thing to do. And listen, give kudos to Anaya Collier and the staff, because it takes a lot of resolve to take that on and to sit out a season. As you said, 1,000 days in between appearances in the regular season for Virginia, and yet you can see it already here in 2026, the way that Anaya Collier has grown as a player. She's got that quick first step, and she's really good at beating players off the dribble. She'll play a big piece in this Cavaliers team here this year in coming off the bench and being that spark plug.
And they said to her, you know, this was back in 2024, Patty, you know, there were a lot of players that were coming off of season-ending injuries from 23, Godfrey and Lainey Rouse being two of those. And so they said, hey, look, a lot of veteran presences on the team. Just trust us. Wait a year, and it'll be your time. Now, unfortunately for Anaya, she played very well in the spring of 2025, but then she got injured, and so that's why we didn't see her last season. And we highlighted this earlier, Patty, with the departure of Gio Canali coming up for the World Cup. That just bumps everyone up one spot on the depth chart, right, if you're a forward, and so that could be extra minutes for Collier, too.
Well, that's right, and really, Collier brings something different than does Canali or Ross, or really Halpern, and that's the pace and the verticality and getting in behind the opponent and the ways that she can stretch a back line. And so depending on matchup, I think you will see her play a huge role in many of the contests here this fall.
That's Loretta Talbot, 13 in orange, getting a touch there. Played 8 minutes in the opener against Northwestern. A sophomore who did not play throughout the entirety of her freshman season. New faces for the Hoos, but similar production. Mattern turns on that accelerator. Schuler. Bradley fakes. Dupes the defender. Mattern open, uncorks just wide. Now coming up on Sunday, number 5 Michigan State and number 7 North Carolina go to battle, an early season women's soccer match. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern time on ACC Network. Carolina winning its first 2 games over Fairfield and Quinnipiac by a combined score of 12-0. Bella Davy, 5 goals in her first 2 games this year. Not too shabby. Talk more about the ACC during our halftime coverage. File through the preseason poll and some teams to watch. Long distance shot goes awry. Abby Doherty with the try there, the senior. Waller nudges it back to Rademacher. Finds Talbot. And now Waller, who has been a fixture on this left side to begin the year off the bench. Just evades Schuler that time. Virginia with 14 first-half shots. They took a total of 14 in the game on Sunday against the Flames. Contact into the back as Schuler went down. Hard collision with Doherty, and a free kick now for UVA. Both teams just trading turnovers there. Back it goes to Safferton as LaSalle can push up that back line. You can kind of feel that the Explorers could really use that reset at halftime.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch as we flip to the second 45. Does Paul Royal really say, okay, let's come out of our shell. Let's try something different. Let's press Virginia and stop dropping into this low mid block, which we've seen throughout the first 41 minutes of this match. You got to think at 5-0, why not? Why not see if you can work on your own press, work on your own parts of the game, which you intend to use for the rest of this fall, and not sit deep and just allow Virginia to keep coming in waves attacking-wise.
Right, and as we mentioned, close to the top, Patty, right, this is a team that prides itself on that high press. We just haven't seen it deployed just yet. And it's tough to do so when Virginia has you sucked into your own half.
It's also tough to do so on an afternoon here, which is approaching 100 in the heat index. So there's a lot of things working against LaSalle, but you can't make excuses. You got to come out and see if you can find something, find some positive to take home on that bus ride from Charlottesville.
Koopman misfires there on the pass for Talbot. She'll get it back though here. Virginia using those wide positions well. Mattern looks up. That's denied. Nice defensive effort from that left back, Riley Henson. Leadership, captain, great player for this team. Seventh corner. Schuler takes right on the penalty dot. Pinballs around. LaSalle gets it outside the 18. Talbot gets shouldered off the ball. Nice play from Shiloh Moore. Now tries to weave around her. An entanglement. No whistle until it comes right now. Free kick Explorers with 100 seconds to play in the first half. Moments like that can give the Explorers some pride here. And this is a program that has been well established under Coach Royal. A couple of at-large selections into the NCAA tournament during his time. Jordanay catches up to this. Nice horizontal delivery for Garcia. Lesback. Out wide it goes for Henson. 5 assists last season as a junior. Another dangerous cross that goes in. Waller hits it out towards the corner, and that will be a corner kick as it hits off the flag.
Upcoming Explorers corner.
Time winding down here in this first half. A little small tweak in the rules this year. Teams can stub at any time. The ball is put to a halt. Doherty chases after it, but Rademacher ushers it out. And that'll wrap up this first 45 here from Klockner Stadium as Virginia blitzed LaSalle for 5 within the first 23 minutes of the match. A brace from Halpern leading the squad, 5-0 Virginia at the break.
Almost a perfect. As the substitutes were inserted and then 9 total subs came into that first half for the Cavaliers, kind of lost a little bit of that possession, a little bit of the rhythm. So now to start this second half, Steve Swanson reinserting many of those starters. How long they go, yet to be determined, but Swanson will love to see that rhythm return to create those good habits and have something to build on with that match against James Madison coming up this week.
And then on the opposite side, Patty, right, for LaSalle, I don't think there's any doubt that this is going to be the toughest opponent that the Explorers will face within the regular season. If they were to win the A-10, who knows? So what can they use in this second half to do? What can they find here in the final 45?
Well, to an extent, anything. I mean, anything is quite frankly better than what they saw in the opening, really 25 minutes of the match. But Paul Royal is a veteran coach, and he has his teams year in and year out playing dynamic style that presses, that they like to be in possession. And sure, they're not going to have a ton of possession in this match, but they have to start to create something, to string some passes together, to have some foundation to build upon, so that when they do step back into the core and the meat of their schedule, coming from a very tough game on the road against, as you know, what will be likely the best team they play all year, they have some sort of confidence to build on. And so you'd like to see in this second 45 for the Explorers just a little bit of a spark, something to build on, maybe a chance or two as they build and head back home to look ahead to that A10 play.
They entered this match with hopes of grabbing their first ranked win since August of 2012. Made the NCAA tournament that year, and they played Virginia here at Klockner Stadium, the only other meeting. Ross right back inside the 18. There's Halpern looking for a hat trick. Helfrich one-on-one with the keeper. Yes, ma'am. Half a dozen for the Hoos. And Carrie Helfrich with her first collegiate goal.
But more than saying, to start the second half for these Virginia Cavaliers, they showed no signs of letting up. It's really well worked in midfield. Ultimately, it's a bit of a broken play here in the 18-yard box. Just a poke there from Halpern, falls to Carrie Helfrich, and she does really well with this finish. Listen, it looks like just a toe puck, but she knows exactly what she's doing. Just lifts it ever so slightly over the on-rushing Samantha Widnick, and a 6th for Virginia.
So Helfrich, who put forth a nice freshman season, only started 5 games. Now she is fully inserted as a starter as the right wing back. Virginia changing its formation here in 2026, and that allows the creativity for Helfrich to shine.
But a lot of what Helfrich brings to the game goes unnoticed. She covers a ton of ground, but she does have creativity, and she is responsible for a number of chances on that left-hand side. I think you're going to see her grow into this season. She came off the bench for the majority of her freshman campaign, but is a player that has a huge ceiling, has a high soccer IQ, covers the ground, and finds herself in really good spots time and again, as we saw there on this latest goal.
Great soccer pedigree. Her father, Dan, played at Georgetown. COO now of U.S. Soccer, started that position in January. Bradley to the outside now. Koopman on an island with Henson. And this is where Virginia stationed a lot in the first half on the corner flag. Virginia, by the way, has made a change in net. Vicky Saffredin departs. Wiki Dunlap comes in for the first time. The redshirt freshman, her first collegiate minutes. Virginia goes short. Hardiman beats one. Ricochets off of Nora Eberman and out of play. Coach Royal going deeper into his bench here in the second half. Lofted in towards the dot off the back of the head of Galvin, who scored in the first half of this match. Second collegiate goal. And you can hear the communication from the LaSalle back line. Get up, get up. They want to start pressing a bit. Eberman defends on the outside, goes to the interior for Bradley. Knocked back here to Hardiman from long distance. Got some serious muscle to it. Looks like we do have a chance of storms potentially in the next 20 minutes or so. We'll keep an eye on that. Clouds looming to our left. Hardiman curls it towards Sophia Bradley. Shoots with the right foot. That gets blocked from Bree Lewis, who has been a minutes eater for the Explorers since she arrived on campus. Played 90 minutes a whole bunch. Another Virginia corner.
Well, it's well done there from Bree Lewis. We haven't talked about her a lot here this afternoon, but she's an extremely athletic, quick center back who can cover a lot of ground. You saw it on full display there with a ball over the top. Covered a lot of ground to get in position and not allow a chance on Frank.
And she played the full 90 in 17 out of their 18 games last year. Halpern sprays it. Faith Broering keeps it in play. It's Kira Koopman who hustles towards it. Virginia maintains possession. Halpern sends it to Ross. That just goes by Bradley. So Samantha Widnick stays in here to start the second half. So they bring her in after LaSalle lost McKenna Yerricks, their starting keeper from last season, made all 18 starts in 2025. Backstopping the Explorers to a 7-8-3 record. Haven't made the NCAA tournament since 2017. Bradley picks her head up momentarily. Now wants to dance towards the byline, and off of Jordan-A it goes. Taylor Jordan-A, who was injured earlier in her career, notched her first collegiate goal against American a week ago. Coach Royal said that was a great moment for her. Galvin lifts it up. Roaring catches up to it. Mize asking for it, receives. Deals it to Hardiman, tries to knock it down for Carter. Off the boot of Garcia and out. Dunlap not shy in her first moments in a true collegiate match. Ross, Halpern, 2-goal first half for Addie. Hardiman, who had the Olympico from the corner's flag. Bradley, a missed touch. And now Henson gave it up. Helfrich, who just scored, delivers it wide. 8 minutes into this second half, Patty, and not much has changed.
Well, that's right. Virginia continues to find really good pockets of space just in between the lines of LaSalle, whether it be Allie Ross or Addie Halpern. Some of these wingers getting tucked inside like Helfrich, and not only are they able to really play the ball in and around that box, but the pockets of space that they're finding to combine and play through the lines of LaSalle is really promising for Steve Swanson. You can tell the patterns and the recognition of his players, the way they're trying to play and doing things the right way, still up 6 goals.
So Virginia was mostly a 4-back team a year ago, Patty. They've now transitioned into what they're calling a 5-2-3. You said in possession it looks more like a 3-4-3. But playing that formation, what are the advantages? What are some of the disadvantages?
Well, I think the obvious advantage, especially the way Virginia plays it, is that in possession, you could almost call it a 3-6-1 because Allie Ross and Addie Halpern will really both play like number 10s, the tucked-in inverted wingers, and allow Liv Rademacher and Carrie Helfrich to get around. So the advantage are that you have clear numbers up in midfield, and if you can spray the ball side to side, get it wide, and get service into the box, you will create chances that way. On the flip side, though, if you're going to be exposed by allowing your wingbacks to go forward, against some of these more athletic teams, especially in the ACC, teams like Florida State, who have really pacey front lines, you have to make sure that you're not overexposing yourself in the back and allowing them to get in behind in those same wide areas and have one-on-ones against a three-back system.
And it puts a lot of mileage right on those wing backs. So for Virginia, those starters are Rademacher on the left side and Helfrich on the right side so far. They really have to be in great shape to play this system.
Well, they do, but they are, and I think that's part of the reason that Steve Swanson has gone with this system to start this year, at least, is that he has players in Helfrich and Rademacher who are two of the best that I've seen in college soccer at those spots in covering the ground and providing really quality service time and again into the box.
And I think another interesting point to make about, okay, what are the reasons why you play this, right? So we talked about this with Coach Swanson before the season, and he wanted to bring Allie Ross from more of a outside wing spot to more of that interior play. He said at times she kind of got isolated out there in the past, but she's so smart. She's a great decision maker, so we want her in the middle of the field.
And not to mention that it just makes for such an attractive product in the end. I mean, Virginia teams year in and year out play a really quality brand of soccer, but this particular formation allows for that tiki-taka in midfield, those combinations, and playing the game the right way. So when you think about player development, and nobody does player development better than Steve Swanson, but these are players in Virginia that play in this system, and they can make the jump to the pros, to the NWSL, and make it look easy because they've already seen the movements. They've already seen the way that the pro style is played. And so you can give endless kudos to Steve Swanson and the way that he develops talent for his squads year in and year out, but you're starting to see it here this year. I mean, this is a quality soccer team top to bottom, and they play the game the right way.
And look, there will be bigger questions to answer, honestly, within the next couple of weeks once they start seeing the likes of Georgetown and Tennessee. But, you know, I think a lot of people coming into this season, right, you see Virginia, right, they had the great start to last year. Then they lose a lot of pieces. Okay, they're picked 6th in the preseason poll in the ACC. They're not in the top 4, not in that area. What is this team going to show? And I think through 2.5 games so far, they have shown that they are going to be the real deal. Whether they win it or not, who knows? But they're going to be in contention.
Well, you see a little effort there from Ella Carter, but to some extent, I mean, who cares, Corey? I mean, top 6 in the ACC are all College Cup caliber teams. 100%. I mean, you're looking at the ACC has 8 teams currently ranked inside the top 25. And by the way, teams 9 through 12 could easily be top 25 teams. So you're not going to put a lot into those preseason rankings. And by the way, 6 is not bad. No. If you look at the 5 ahead, they're all national championship quality teams. And that's what you get. That's what you want. When you come to the ACC, that's what you're looking for. And that's what we'll see again this year.
Towards Ross, and it goes into the midst of Whitnick. Chance for the Explorers to reassess here, just over 12 minutes into the second half. LaSalle has been credited with just 2 shots so far, 1 from Sienna, 1 from Doherty. Here's Mackenzie Mize drawing her first career start today. The freshman from Plano, Texas. She was a top 100 recruit. Bradley shuttles after it. Ross lets it go for Helfrich. Harry gets taken down, but a strong tackle there. All clean from Riley Henson. And Helfrich is down.
Well, it's good defending, really, in the end here from Riley Henson. She gets the timing of this tackle down to perfection. Carrie Helfrich, unfortunately, takes the brunt of the contact, but really good to see the sophomore up and moving about. The last thing you want to see if you're Virginia is any sort of knock in a game that's already done and dusted here with half hour to play.
This wave of corner kicks continues to pile up for the Who's. Have the fourth official right now in communication. I believe the Virginia bench.
Yep.
Sarah Flamia, younger sister Jill Flamia, is waiting at midfield. And we have been told that there is a clock issue, as folks you might be able to see. 3:15. No. All right, there we go. 31:53. Thank you. Carter ready to take. Elects to go short for Hardiman. Halpern surveys the scene. Heavy touch there, but maintaining control. Mize, Ross off the half volley. Virginia wanted to see better crosses here in this game as compared to their Liberty match on Sunday. Had plenty of opportunities to get some practice in there. Hardiman will come out. And here comes Sarah Flamia, who did not play the entirety of last season. Freshman season, played just 28 minutes 2 years back. Big reason why she's got a smile on her face right now. Older sister Jill has been an important piece for this Virginia team, but has been injured on and off over the last couple of years. We have not seen Jill make her season debut just yet. That would be an added benefit, Patty, to the Cavaliers' already loaded midfield. Yeah, you're on camera. Believe it.
Checking in for the Explorers, number 10, Salle, number 16, Abby Doherty, and number 21,
Shiloh Moore for LaSalle. Abby Doherty also on as well. Whistle brings the ball back for a free kick for LaSalle. Remember, the Explorers in their first game against American a week ago scored both goals off set pieces. Jordan on a header off a corner kick. Mounts off a header on a free kick. Bounces in front of Dunlap, makes the first save, and the second try goes wide. Oh, it's Hollenbach who brings her head up towards the sky.
Well, you just finished saying how dangerous this LaSalle team is on the free kick. This is a good service into the box. And I'll tell you what, that's a world-class save from Wiki Dunlap to get across and deny LaSalle that opening goal. A second opportunity coming straight back, and a little bit unfortunate not to put it back on frame, but a tremendous save there from the freshman Wiki Dunlap.
Yeah, that is no gimme for your first collegiate save, the redshirt freshman. Excellent. Now Virginia counters. Helfridge running onto it. A little moment there of hesitation. Mount with the slide. Off the boot of Lewis. Retained, though, by Virginia's Ross. Last off Lewis. Wiki Dunlap, who was a top 50 recruit in the class of 2025. Good for Steve Swanson to build some depth. You just never know. Although Vicky Safferton has pretty much started all the games the last 2+ seasons. Flamia to Bradley. Shimmy shake, the juke, and the shot towards the back post. Just misses Koopman. Ayla Lesback coming into the match. Ava Tenaglia, who started on the right wing, re-enters as well as Alexis Garcia heads out. LaSalle, a team that is trying to size up to the giants of the A10. In recent seasons, those two teams have been Dayton and St. Louis. Billikens won 7 straight A10 tournament titles before last season, when Dayton finished undefeated in the regular season and eventually made the NCAA tournament before falling to Xavier. Proud tradition of soccer for the LaSalle Explorers. Again, they made the tournament 5 times in the 2010s, including 4 straight years from 2011 to 2014. Paul Royal, a longtime head coach. This is his 24th year. Multiple times has been selected as the A10 Coach of the Year. And he has really high expectations for this group that returns a lot of production from last year. They finished the game below 500, but he believes that the connection on the team is deeper in 2026 as compared to last year. Be interesting to see how they shape up once they get closer to the A10. Carter back to Dunlap. Halpern fell down in the midfield, no whistle. This will stay with Virginia. For some of the starters for the Cavaliers, that might be it today. As Helfrich, Ross, and Sophia Bradley all come out for Steve Swanson's team. Collier back in. Alongside there's Reese Mattern. Former Tennessee Vol, Western Albemarle High School product from Charlottesville. Was a Player of the Year in 4D here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I think that'll be an interesting piece too, Patty. Mattern on the outside as one of those wing backs with her speed.
Well, certainly, and I think, you know, we were talking about it earlier, but the amount of what is asked out of those wingbacks from a physical point of view, you know, and the number of games that you play in a college soccer season, you have to have the ability to rotate those pieces. And so a little bit of a different role for Reese Matter than the one she played a year ago in Knoxville. But if she can learn and grow into that role, she will find herself with a lot of minutes and the ability to change a game through her pace. Because when she gets going and she gets running that back lines, there are not a lot of players in college soccer that have the pace that she has. And so the ability to get in line and get service into the box will be something that Steve Swanson certainly will be looking for out of Reese Matter.
Yeah, she was an all-SEC freshman team selection a couple of years back. And Patty, another reason why Virginia likes this formation, as we expand on that conversation we had earlier, they felt like a year ago in their traditional 4-3-3 that they almost got redundant with the right back and the right wing and the left back and the left wing. And they felt like they didn't have enough numbers in the box on crosses. It was almost like a one-woman show inside the 18. Now they can put 4 or 5 players in the box and get that service from a wing back.
And you're seeing that this afternoon. I mean, listen, this is not necessarily the level of opponent that Virginia will play when it gets deep in the year, but the movements and the patterns are the same, and you're seeing how Virginia wants to play and combining through midfield and getting the ball wide and getting that service into the box. And so a lot of positives from this afternoon to build on it if you're that Virginia coaching staff.
And if you can build depth on the outside, right, like you talked about, it takes a lot out of you to play that wing back spot. So if you have 2 reliable options off the bench to come in on either side, that's going to be excellent. Here's Collier. Put to a stop there by Bree Lewis. Schuler with space. Flag stays down. The freshman looks up, fakes. Didn't have enough steam on that delivery, and out it goes. Shiloh Moore tried to pass it to herself. That did not go her way. Schuler to Mize. Just misses Koopman. Cross after cross after cross. And just listening to some of the Virginia assistants, they are very happy with that. Half smile. Collier lays it inside. And a save there from Whitnick. So we near the midway point of the second half. We've been told that the officials have decided on no hydration break. I had one in the first half. Temperatures have certainly cooled off a bit here in the second.
Get higher, reach foot. Come back now. Get out,
Here's Mattern. Tries to poke and prod her way towards the inside. She does, but it is a little bit behind Schuler. And Virginia so quick to win the ball back. Those transition moments have just been dominated by the team in orange.
Such a good job in that transition. Just the step from Tatum Galvin, but then again, Ella Carter finding her way back and reading the game into winning that ball back and going straight back at LaSalle, not allowing the Explorers to break that press of the orange shirts.
Yeah, and I think, look, you're talking about a 6-0 game here. You could say, I don't know if the urgency is going to be there. Like, that's a moment where you can clearly see the urgency still resides in the Cavaliers.
You got to do the right things, and especially in those two players, Tatum Galvin, a fifth year, and Ella Carter, a senior leader of this team, still doing the right things and playing the game the right way. And it's early season. Just getting that really rhythm and the movements right is so important. Now we're starting to see rotation in the side and a lot of the substitutes come into the game. But I think as far as that first wave of players is concerned for Steve Swanson, this is a real positive and a lot to build on for Virginia. Played the game the right way and obviously found the goals and were rewarded in the end, finding the back of the net.
One topic we haven't discussed yet, Patty, the longer preseason this year, they expanded it from 2 to 4 weeks. And yeah, these players still need the ramp up within regular season play, but I think that really benefited a lot of teams throughout the nation as this buildup is offside.
Well, no question, and it's good for the players. I mean, listen, the model for college soccer of having really only 2 weeks of preseason is antiquated. You go straight in, you run a fitness test, you're doing a lot of physically taxing work, 2-a-days, and kids are getting hurt. And so the ability to extend the preseason through that transition period, as it's called, an extra 2 weeks, only have 1 session a day, still do the work physically, but spread it out and get players fit as they head into a grueling fall season, I think is a huge step in the right direction for college soccer. And I think we will see that really the benefit, especially as this season ticks a little later and later into late October, November, and of course the College Cup in December.
Yeah, it may have limited some vacation time. Here's another chance for Virginia, and that goes in. It's Waller on the end of it, and it's a touchdown for the Hoos.
sure that you're going to see clear and obvious error on the referee's part, and you would expect that this goal, like the earlier one, will stand.
And you could see 12 in Navy there, Bree Lewis starting to run forward, but it's when that ball is struck. And after video review, they have decided to keep the call on the field. So it's a goal for Virginia. It's 7th, and the first for Waller, the redshirt sophomore from Alexandria. So Waller scores her first in college. Helfrich did the same earlier in this second half. And Jordan Hardiman did so in the first half. Hollis Mefford checks in. Freshman from Atlanta. First action in college. You know, we were just having the conversation about preseason, Patty, and I'm curious for you, and I know the schedule's a little bit different on the men's side, but in your day, like, how many weeks did it take within the regular season to feel like, okay, I'm at my best, like I'm in the rhythm, my touches are good? Like, how long did it take you to feel that?
But sort of an interesting question, because the answer is probably never. Because what ends up happening is that you come in for preseason, and the preseason is so grueling because it has to be, that by the time that you really find full fitness, you're already playing 2 games a week, and so your body is breaking down constantly, and you get into this cycle of recover, play, and you never really break from that preseason and the gruel that was August, and so you get to November, and that's when you start to see some of these nagging muscle injuries pop up. And that's why I say I think that this transition period, which is what they're calling the extended preseason and the extra 2 weeks, is so important for the athletes in getting that physical fitness without overreaching and finding those sort of nagging injuries that might really stay with you the entirety of the fall.
ACC Huddle road trip continues through August 24th. That's coming to an end in the next 4 days. We're going to catch exclusive interviews with players and coaches of your favorite ACC team. Really excited for the start of the football stadium. Certainly a lot of folks here are, considering the season that Tony Elliott and the Who's had a year ago. Yeah, and the point of the advanced preseason, some of those injuries, you know, Steve Swanson was like, Patty, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why we have the most injuries of any sport in women's soccer in college. We just try to cram too much in too little amount of time in that preseason.
And the discussion, of course, in college soccer right now is with the men seemingly voting to go to that full year schedule. On the women's side, they will continue to play just in the fall as it stands. How can you still space that out but only play in the 1 semester format? So I think that this bridge, this 2-week bridge, solves a little bit of that problem in extending and allowing teams to get together with the facilities, with athletic trainers, with nutrition a little bit earlier, and it's just better for the well-being of the student athlete.
And they also pushed back the women's NCAA tournament, the College Cup. It'll match the same weekend on the men's side, so you get an extra week there on the back end too, which is always good.
That'll be a ton of fun too. I mean, you'll see the women and the men both in the same place, Cary, North Carolina, the same weekend, and it'll just be such a great weekend to show off, to showcase what it is in our sport and in men's and women's college soccer, the best of which will come together sort of on one weekend of celebration there in mid-December.
On the women's side, the national semifinals on Thursday, December 10th. Championship match on that Sunday, the 13th. A little holding of hands there in the midfield. There's Helen Olszewski drawing the whistle. Now Virginia, one of 15 teams across the ACC in action today. 7 of those teams, by the way, have started 2-0. Pitt Panthers on top 1-0 over LMU at halftime. And there's Wake Forest, a team, Patty, that you pointed out at halftime with a 1-0 lead. NC State picked 11th in the preseason ACC poll. That goes towards the back post.
NC State's I was just going to say, NC State's another dark horse for me this year, Corey. I think that's a program now with a second-year head coach building something in Raleigh who could surprise a lot of folks. I think they have, especially they have an out-and-out proven goal scorer in Jade Bordelou, and just I think they will be better than folks have given them credit for. So keep an eye out for those Wolfpack.
All right, Gary Higgins, second year as the head coach, led ECU to their first NCAA tournament back in '24. By the way, correction on my end, it is Samantha Whitnick who is still in goal for LaSalle. Got a big game tonight out on the farm on the West Coast. Number 1 Stanford, number 14 Georgetown. Virginia will visit Dave Nolan and the Hoyas coming up on the 6th of September. Georgetown team that Virginia drew last year, early in the year, here at Faulkner Stadium, 1-1. Waller, who potted Virginia's 7th, booted out by Henson. I think a lot of us will have our eyes, too, on the Notre Dame-Nebraska match coming up tonight at 8 to see if Lindsay Angle gets back in there for the Irish. He's now played the first couple of games for Notre Dame, the very talented junior, ACC Offensive Player of the Year last year. But we're going to have our sights set on some men's soccer, Patty. We're going to be calling the next match, Virginia and UCLA. That's on your schedule, right? Just making sure.
It still is, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and what a match that'll be. I mean, you're talking about two of, if not the two most historic programs in men's college soccer meeting to open the season. And I think it'll be a real treat for this crowd here at Clockman.
Collier slips in behind, saved by Whitnick. Terrific stop from the Drexel transfer. Combined 11 national titles, battling it out tonight. As Ryan Jordan brings his team across the country. Virginia, the reigning ACC regular season champs on the men's side, and UCLA, the reigning Big Ten tournament champs. Boy, they really turned around their season last year midway through. They've got a lot of new pieces. So excited for that one coming up at 7. We'll have the coverage for you on ACC Network Extra as well. Schuler turbines off the defender, scorches one towards cage, parried aside by Whitnick.
Well, yet again, it's that spot in between the lines of LaSalle that Virginia has done such a good job in exposing. This time, Schuler just stepping back into the midfield and finding that ball off the turn. She does really well pushing that to her right foot and forcing a good save from Samantha Whitnick. But now you're seeing even the substitutes for Virginia just making the correct movements and finding the combination play and doing the things that Steve Swanson will have wanted to see here this afternoon.
Towards Whitnick again, uses the fists to direct it away. Track race run won here by Catherine Kelly. Here's Henson. And Collier still hustling. That depth you mentioned, Patty, showing up.
Checking in for LaSalle, number 00, Ella Fry. Number 4, Ella
Ella Fry comes back on here for LaSalle.
And number 13,
Great match against American in the opener. And Yadis Fraga leads the group exiting the match. Guzman throws it in. Roaring steps up. Shiloh Moore nullified there by Kelly. Haven't seen Ella Cadigan touch the ball too much today, 4 in the Navy. That's really the backbone of this LaSalle program. So technically sound, a high IQ player, a couple of assists in the opener against American. They like to have the ball on her foot a lot. Les back from tape measured, and that is just over.
Well, it's a little bit sloppy there on the back line from Virginia, just giving away that square ball. And if you're LaSalle, why not have a go? You haven't had the ball really at all in that attacking third, so you see a half chance, go ahead and take it. Not a bad effort there to try to test the Virginia goalkeeper.
Launch back towards Moore, and she gets twisted up. Nice work from Faith Broering to draw the whistle. You know, Faith Broering, such a great story. Going back to her time at Cincinnati, she had played just 155 minutes in her first 2 years. And she overcame what was initially thought to be a career-ending bone infection. Returns her final 2 years, and she leads the Bearcats in minutes in her junior and senior season. Very impressive. Two-time Northern Kentucky Athletic Conference Player of the Year at Highlands High School. She's from Southgate, which is near Cincy. Also suffered a bit of an ankle injury in the springtime. And Coach Swanson says, you know what you're going to get from her. Understands her role in our system. She's an honest player. Moore checking back in. The disruption there from Broering once again. Cadigan linking up in midfield. Flamia attached to her hip. Haven't seen too many spells of possession for LaSalle so far in this match. Schuler deals it inside, and Mackenzie Mize has green grass galore in front of her. Mize sends it out wide. Mattern towards the middle, and it ends up being an easy one for Samantha Whitnick and LaSalle. Addison Halpern for the Cavaliers, a first half brace. Her total now on the season 4, matching her total from last year. Schuler, Collier right next to her. Jordan steps in the way. Mackenzie Mize stopping and starting. There's Guzman for LaSalle. Virginia racking up the passes. Olszewski to the byline. There once again is Riley Henson. It's a corner for Virginia, but you understand why this player Henson is the captain of this team, and Coach Royal telling us that she's got a chance to be the best he's ever had. He's been the head coach for 24 years. Schuler towards the penalty dot. Kaden Williams checking back to the ball. Can't find an outlet. 3 to play. Collier misfires as Erdman and Waller will hustle after it. As we touched on halftime, next up for Virginia, they'll have James Madison coming up on Thursday. The Dukes with a loss to NC State in the opener. They beat George Mason in their second game. They've got Georgia tonight. And then it's Yale and Tennessee for UVA to finish up this 6-game homestand to start the year. Mattern supplied some space off Guzman. That is now 16 corner kicks. You get to this point in the match with these amount of corners, you don't want to repeat your stuff, but also you don't want to show your hand to everyone else in the country. Tough dilemma. Williams and a mistimed run there. Ends up on Dunlap's foot as Shiloh Moore was not on the same page. Men's game coming up at 7, Virginia, and there are the UCLA Bruins walking into Klockner Stadium. 5 straight trips to the NCAA tournament for Ryan Jordan and company. Not ranked, 3 ranked teams in the Big Ten on the men's side, but they pick up a win at Klockner tonight. I think they'll be ranked next week.
Well, they have a really fun, talented squad, and I think Ryan Jordan has done a really good job in sort of turning that program back to what it historically has been, and that's a perennial powerhouse and a national name. And so 2 heavyweights of the men's game coming up here in just over an hour.
It'll be the first time those 2 programs go to battle since the 2014 national championship game. Talk more about that during that match coming up in just under an hour. 30 seconds remaining here at Klockner on the women's side. Kira Waller, who scored earlier in the second half, lifting it up for Oshevsky. Collier's offside here as the flag goes up. Collier bidding for her second this season. 6 different goal scorers for Virginia today. Plenty getting on the score sheet. Led by 2 from Addison Halpern. Virginia led 5-0 at the break and continued its assault on LaSalle. 7-0 the final score. Cavaliers now 3 for 3 here in 2026.
Really a complete performance from that